Hello Buddhas, today we are going to be talking about a Neville Goddard lecture that he has titled, Changing the Feeling of I. Now, Buddhas, before we get started, I've got a playlist down below with well over 150 Buddha Billionaire videos that you can binge watch to accelerate your spiritual awakening. Now, what do I mean, or what does Neville mean by changing the feeling of I? Well, I am Buddha Billionaire. I feel like the Buddha Billionaire. Because of that, I'm able to make this content. I wasn't able to do this several months ago because I didn't feel worthy. I didn't feel like this was something that I was actually confident enough or qualified, which no one really ever is, to do. But when you get to a point of confidence in something, that's when it feels really normal. Maybe some good examples here are, I can confidently say that my name is Alex because that is something that I have been trained to believe my entire life. And I use the word trained to believe, or the words trained to believe, very specifically because at a greater level, I am just I am. There is no name or designation or gender, ethnicity, race, or anything that really matters other than the fact that I am. I am me. I am the consciousness that is coming through this body. So when Neville Goddard talks about changing the feeling of I, it comes down simply to this. How do you feel on a regular basis? That is where you are at, and that is how you will continue to be. If, through meditation, and through self-development, and through learning, and through reading, and through working on yourself, if you can change that feeling, then the outer world, the existence around you, will reflect that. So if you change the feeling from, well, I am just some guy who makes a salary and pays his bills, and yay, I contribute to society and I feel so useful and helpful, yay, then if that's the case, then that's what you're going to get. But a lot of this journey on this planet, on Mother Earth, is to learn that you are in charge of how you feel about you. So if you decide that, you know what, I am a millionaire, and if you decide that I contribute to society in these incredible ways, and I drive this kind of car, and I have this kind of a boat, and these people are in my life, and this is my family, and if you create the feeling of I that you want, not the one that seems like it's possible, but the feeling that you want, the feeling that you desire truly to come through, to bring into this world. Well, Buddhas, if you can change that feeling and you can feel it, then it is true. All that you need to do then is have the patience and the understanding and the faith and the trust that that will eventually come. Because at the end of the day, other than having to love yourself, because that's like all the hard work right there summed up, at the end of the day, you are responsible for you. You get to decide when you get out of bed in the morning. You get to decide what you put in your body when you're eating. You get to decide what kind of content you consume. It's all decisions that you make. Now, some of these decisions can be more difficult than others. I gotta get out of bed in the morning so that I hit that specific time, so that I'm at work on time, so that my boss doesn't fire me. I get it. That's a part of your reality that you created, but it's a part of your reality nonetheless. But you can start to chip away at it a little bit. And instead of having the perspective of, I have to get out of bed so that my boss doesn't fire me, you can start to say to yourself, I'm going to get out of bed because I want to. And it's that simple. When you change the feeling of I, when you change how you see yourself, not how the world necessarily sees yourself, because you're not going to change drastically anyways. You can change your appearance somewhat, but you're not going to change your gender and your height and the color of your skin overnight, right? You're not immediately going to go from a 6'2" white male into a 5-foot tall Asian female. That's not going to happen overnight. You'd have to be reborn for that, because that's quite drastic. Now, maybe an enlightened Buddhist master of some sort, a swami or a yogi, can manipulate the atoms to a level that would work, but we're not going to talk about that in detail today. What we are going to consider, though, is the way that you see yourself in the world. And by see, I don't necessarily mean with your eyes. I mean with your inner eye. How do you perceive your existence in the world? If you believe that you're unpopular and that nobody likes you and that people talk down to you, then you're going to constantly attract that kind of bullcrap into your world. And I've been there, I've done that, I'm getting out of that, and I'm over that, because that's victim mentality that I was conditioned by the entire universe to feel for a certain amount of time. But it's not something that you need to feel forever. Now, a really helpful trick and secret in order to get through that process as efficiently and quickly as possible is to skip past the blame, shame, guilt stage. There's no point in being mad at yourself, in being mad at others, in being mad at society, in being mad at the ominous they, the whoever the heck think they're in charge of whatever the heck, the sleeping people who are still ruining things for others. If you blame them for the way that you're feeling, then you're just going to keep feeling stuck AF. Because ultimately, what did we say earlier? How you feel about you is what you get. In summation, I don't think I use those actual words, but I like it. How you feel about you is what you get. So if you can just make those minute changes, it does not have to be drastic, it can be, and it will feel drastic if you look back at it. You'll be like, oh my gosh, I went from that to that, oh wow, that's incredible, what can I do next? You're going to start to feel that way, and you're going to start to notice it. But if you can just start to change something like that morning routine, which I think I'll make a video about morning routines at some point as well, from I gotta get up so that I don't get fired or because my boss expects me to be at work, blah blah blah. If you can take away that power from the outside other, you still gotta go to work. I'm not saying quit your day job. Nah, you gotta pay the bills, you gotta put food on the table. Unless you're a millionaire, then why are you watching these videos? But if you can change that from, okay, I gotta get up at this time so that I don't get fired, to I'm gonna get up at this time because I want to, because it's my decision so that I can have some time in the morning before I head to work. If you can take back that initiative, oh, the initiative, ladies and gentlemen, Buddhas all ages, if you can take back the initiative and the responsibility for how you feel about you, you've already fixed it. You've changed it. Not to say there was anything wrong with where it was before, because you needed to be there in order to be at this point in order to change it. But now that we've gotten past the guilt, the blame, the shame, and the whole game of the whole thing, you can actually play it and enjoy it. And you can decide, hey, you know what? I am a rock star. I am awesome. I'm going to work on that and chip away at it a little itty tiny little micro bit every single day. And that compound effect is going to add up, baby, and you're going to be Warren Buffett in no time. So, Buddhas, remember the most important thing at the end of the day is to love yourself.